Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. And it's a lovely, almost spring day, which is great because I want to talk about seasons. I want to talk about the first day of spring or Ostera, uh, depending on how you want to call it. Most people refer to as Sarah, usually people who might consider themselves pagan or Wiccan. They tend to use that term. But for the purpose of the video and how I practice, I'm just going to say the return of spring, and I'll just leave it there. So, yeah, the return of spring, that's what we're going to talk about. So, how do you prep for this? How do you prep for these types of, if you want to get more into seasonal magic, seasonal witchcraft? The question is, how do you prep? How do you do this sort of stuff? You don't, the last thing you want to do is if you actually want to celebrate, is wait until the day of or, the day before to try to wrangle some things together and celebrate. So, this video just serves as little reminders, tips, suggestions on how to prep early for the seasonal change that we're about to go through, which is spring. Um, so I would say set up an altar now if you haven't already. And remember, your altar could be something, it can be simple. So set up a seasonal altar. Um, your seasonal altar can take on all different types of looks. It depends on, where you put it, how you live. But remember, for me, somebody who practices cottage witchery, it could be something on your dining room table. It could be something off on a side table. It might look decorative to the naked eye, but for your practice, of course, it's something more intentional. It's something more personal and spiritual. But the types of stuff you want to put on your altar, things just represent new beginnings. You can get like fake little Easter eggs or even real ones if you choose to. Boil them if you want to, but I don't know about that. I would probably go with the fake ones. It's symbolic, remember. Uh, Colors you usually see around this time: pastels, your pinks, your blues, purples, the light pink, pastel colors. Some items that represent that for sure. Something that represents balance. So I'm thinking like you can have a goddess and a god statue, maybe black and white candles, just that, balance and, or crystals that are known for balancing energies. Have that out there. If you can put flowers, that's great, or some representation of flowers. If you can't do real flowers, there's always Dollar Tree. Okay. A potted plant is also great as well, or some herbs or something like that. And the final thing is when you're talking about an altar space, just let it be natural. So you don't have to have all these things. You just pick a piece. You can really accomplish all this. Is something at Dollar Tree you can kind of have fun with. Spring flowers, fake ones. If you're not going to get a real one, I understand, but you can get that, and you can get if you hopefully already have a crystal that maybe you consider balancing, and you can simply have a glass of water, and you can have a white candle and a black candle, or some representation of like the mix of the candles like that. So that's up to you how you want to do it, or just a single white candle. You can even have a tea light candle. It doesn't even have to be, you know, that big. It could be very small. The point is, it's just a way of giving reverence. So you can go there and you can do workings, seasonal workings at that altar space. The other thing I know I'll be preparing for is a planting ritual. So one of the reasons I wanted to be outside, I have a garden amongst me, but these are just some of the herbs that are planted over here to the side. There's more, but this is a great time to do a planting ritual. I did a video last year about this. I believe it was about this time last year where I was doing my planting. It's sort of like a spell where you basically the seeds represent what it is that you're planning as far as your goals, your aspirations, what the intentions are, and so forth. And as it grows, so will, the thing that you're working toward. Um, so now's a good time to go grab a pack of seeds. Again, low cost, especially if you already have some. And if you can make it so, I'm thinking herbs for sure, but if you want to just do flowers, that's fine. And you can even get like just a little piece, nothing too big, just a small little piece of paper, and you can write maybe one word that represents the thing that you're trying to manifest. it's okay as long as it registers to you, or you can write the whole thing out. And you would also put that in the soil when you pot it, when you plant it, just so you know. Um, and you want to just say some words that resonates with you. Once you're done potting it, and you just feed it and watch it grow. And as you do that, you'll be working, sending out the energy into the universe. You're also tapping into the natural energy of the plant and the entire process of growing. So you're tapping into that, making it more magical and to benefit you. I love that type of spell work. I have had wonderful success with it. You should try it. Um, this is the time of year. It's got a little windy. This is a time of year where it's a time of renewal. It's a time of rebirth. So keep that in mind. So it's not so much about, for me, it's this is the year where I tend to start a lot of new projects. But the key word is the repart, renewal, rebirth. Um, Projects maybe that you've kind of didn't finish and put on the back burner. This is a great time to pull those out. Let's re-examine. Let's look at it, breathe some new life into it, and get that thing going, get it growing again. The planning ritual is great to go with those types of projects. So if you have things that you knew you agreed to do, or even if it was just to yourself, you made a commitment but you just didn't follow through, aka for a lot of us losing weight and all that sort of stuff. This is a great time um, to revisit those plans and those goals. So, like I said, it's a great time to maybe pick up projects and things that maybe for whatever reason didn't get done. But if you are starting something brand new, it's also a great time for that. You can take the same energy that this time represents and definitely use that accordingly. Okay, and kind of back to the original thing on looking at existing, projects, goals that maybe you're actually working on. This is a time to kind of re-examine, look at those with fresh perspectives. Just take a look to see if you're heading in the right direction. A prime example would be weight loss. That's a great one because that's something I know probably a good amount of us are always down for some weight loss um, program or goal or something. At least once a year, a lot of us do it, and we might not. Some of us reach it, and some of us don't always. But anyway, a fresh perspective on that. So maybe you need to look at, okay, well, what have you been trying? If you feel miserable, let's say you are making gains or losses in this case, but it doesn't feel good and you feel like you're depriving yourself, take a fresh look at what you're doing, how you're approaching it. It just might simply be time to just go take a different diet approach, or change how you eat or what you're eating, or just take look at it with a new perspective, to take it more into your spiritual life. If you've been doing spells and they're working, but again, it's kind of like you're not getting a lot of satisfaction out of the results. It's getting you close, but you never really get what you really desire. This is a great time to start, kind of undoing and pulling back the layers of what are you doing in your magic. Are you even approaching it the best way for you, and the type of magic that you are more drawn to? For instance, if I was to at this point want to work more with water, the water elemental magic, and I was spending a lot of time doing that and working with moon energy and things like that, I'm sure it would work, but I don't think that's suited best for me. Um, I don't think just, with where my signs are in my birth chart, it's not that it wouldn't work at all. I don't think I would be doing myself, I would be giving myself a much harder time. Where if I would just focus on the energies that are, more dominant for me to access and work with, that would probably be the best approach. But this would be the time where I would discover that if I wasn't understanding why it wasn't working, or if I was somebody who was, working with doing a lot of candle spells, a lot of burnings and my cauldron. And, if I look at my birth chart, I got a lot of water signs that are tied to water and things of that nature. So that might explain why things aren't quite working. I might need to, retune that a little bit and bring in these other elements to have more satisfying spells with solutions that results that I actually desired and wanted instead of what I'm settling for. Also, you know what, if all else is going great in your life and you feel like you got a handle on your magic, your goals are pretty good, and all projects are going the way they should be, the way you like. The only other thing I would just tell you is this is a time to think about balancing and just making sure that you're keeping a balance across all the platforms of your life, career, relationship, friends, family, your personal time, your spirituality, all that. Make sure you just have that, you see balance in all those areas of your life. Yeah, we got a garden out here. I got all the flies and everything, bees as well are out here. And then finally, on that note, go outside, get outside. This is a great tip. The weather is usually getting a lot nicer for most people, so this is a great time to step outside and just sit amongst nature and sit amongst your potted plants. If you don't have a big space to go where it's you have access to nature, although I mean almost every place has a public park, so you can technically do that. But if it's wherever that space is, that's nature for you. That's up to you. Wherever you feel comfortable, just go there. I would say if you don't have the space um, where you live, then go to a park. Just go to a public park and just, you don't have to be out there all day. You can go out there for 15 minutes if that suits you. But just sit there and just be for a moment. Just chill, just relax. Um, if you want to take this up further, listen to, something, music that you identify that resonates with you, that's calming or spiritual. If you want to go with somebody else, make sure they understand what, have some idea that they can respect that this is a time for you to commune with nature. And what you're doing is basically just listening, just breathing, just allowing your senses to kind of do what they will, pick up what they will, um, and just go with it and just kind of be a part of with all the other elements that are outside. The plants, the grass, the whatever. You just become one with them and you just be. The wind blows, your hair blows. Just like it blows the leaves on the trees. So you just kind of work with nature, just sit there for a moment, just be a part of it. And it's just ways of, it's kind of sitting at an altar and giving respect and reverence. Sometimes you don't know what to say, you don't know what to do. That's okay. Just be there. Just be in the moment. So that's how all the suggestions that I have pretty much for preparing for spring, Ostara, as far as that I'm willing to do. Again, as I am not Wiccan, I typically, the longer I'm not, the less I do that kind of goes, with what I would have probably traditionally done if I was Wiccan. I'm not bringing in any specific deity or goddess that is represented by Ostara. I don't really work with that, so I'm pretty solid on that. So I'm not going to do that. Um, but as with most things, I take a practical approach. I'm also a cottage witch, so most of the things that I'm going to do are probably going to be home centered anyway. So for me, sitting outside like I'm doing right now and recording is really nice as well. It's a very comfortable temperature. It's not hot, it's not cold. And it just feels really good. And it's nice to see all this plant life around me. And um, yeah, so that's it. So hopefully you guys are really looking forward to spring. It's one of my favorite times of year. I was born around this time, so there's that. And I think that has a lot to do with my approach. I tend to be much more open and happy. Fun fact: we've moved a lot over the years, and a lot of our moves happen in the spring, usually about April. So there's that. All right. But yeah, so thanks again for watching. I'm Mika. This is Leap Taken. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment as well. Let me know if you have any plans. What is your prep work? What are you doing for spring, for the new season? What type of magic are you getting into? Because I'm, of course, I'll be following up with some seasonal type magic for spring. Can't wait to do that. So look for those videos coming. But in the meantime, you can let me know what you're doing in the comments, anything particular, any sort of rituals or anything like that. Just let me know. All right, so thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.